Hi everyone. So I'm going to see if I can get through and do my new moon in Aries video in the fading light, and I think I can. And I notice that my hair is cut, and I should have known that before, but it seems strangely on point with the new moon in Aries. It's a new moon in Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. And as you know, prior to the 20th of the month, that would be the 20th of March, give or take, the sun was in Pisces, but at present you still have Mercury, now direct, Neptune, and Venus in Pisces. All things that I've covered in past videos. I'm not gonna take up a ton of time there. So right now, but there's a reason why I'm bringing this up. So we have the last sign of the zodiac with Mercury now direct, Neptune, and Venus charged. And we have the first sign of the zodiac where the sun is currently Chiron moved into, and we have the new moon. And the new moon is going to occur in a few hours, really, 6, 7, 8 hours, 9 hours, something like that. So not that long from now. And traditionally, people will say that the new moon in Aries marks the continuation of the start of a new year, and spring is in the air, and newness, and all that kind of stuff. And I understand that to some extent, but unless Aries is in a part of your chart that facilitates and stands for that kind of newness, we really don't know what this newness necessarily is about. The energies is still very, very strong in Pisces, and I would say that in order to facilitate and step into the new, and the energies will clear Pisces. I mean, for the first time in a long time, we will only have one celestial body that I look at in these videos in Pisces. Chiron is out, and by April the 20th, Mercury leaves Pisces on the 17th of April. Venus leaves Pisces on the 20th, leaving Neptune behind. Neptune is in a sign that it rules, and Pisces finally clears of a certain amount of emphasis that it has had for a long time, since 2015, 2016, maybe even a little bit before. Actually, for a long time. And we all frankly could do with the clearing of this energy. However, right now we're very much, while there's this new moon in Aries, and it is being heralded as the start of a lot of new energy and new direction and new beginnings, I will maintain that April is still a month where we are cleaning up and facilitating the cleanup and the healing of issues from 2015, 2016, November the 15th of 2018 to December 31st, 2018. And it all remains to be seen where it goes. If anything, the new moon in Aries is probably going to give us a certain amount of juice and a certain amount of gas to get going with leaving things behind. So it's a strange new moon. The new moon will happen, and it will bring with it, within 48 hours, certainly for most people, 48 hours to even a week, a new set of energies and things to focus on. But we don't clear Pisces energy till about April the 20th. So whatever it is that we have been dealing with that has been front and center in February and March, not as part of the primary path you're on, but as a distraction that is growing and needs resolution, needs healing, is here to be healed and dealt with once and for all after tonight. Once a new moon happens, the general feedback or the advice is you can plant intentions, you can start things. Some people like to wait till the crescent of the moon can be seen, because while the moon is still at zero, there's a feeling of, is this really the best time to plant things? Whatever your philosophy of choice, I'm not quite drinking the Kool-Aid as to, oh, this new moon happens and new things happen. I will maintain, as I have done in other videos, that this new moon happens, and it gives us a portal from the new moon in Aries on April the 5th till about April the 20th to try to put a band-aid on and heal as best you can issues related to 2015, 2016, as well as mid-November of 2018 to the end of December of 2018. What this healing looks like will be specific to each person. In some cases, there's going to be a coming together. In some cases, there may be a falling apart, or somewhere in between, or something creative. The universe never fails to surprise me. So we'll see how it goes for each and every person. It is still a time of transition, and it continues to mark a time. You know, the thing that is going to be so interesting to note, by the end of April, April the 20th. April the 19th is the second full moon in Libra. So again, yeah, thematically, folks, issues related to March are going to come back to be revisited by April the 19th. By April the 20th, there is okay, sayonara to these old energies, and now finally let's move forward into new energies and new vistas. And it will be surprising because the energies that have been weighing us down in February, especially March, the crises while Mercury was retrograde, the full moon on the 20th of March, and the last few days of March till the 28th, heavy days, murky days. Enjoy the fact that clarity continues to come and things become clearer, even if there are things that you do not like, even if there are things that are not palatable. At least there are things that you can do something with. At least they are more concrete. At least there are things that you know about. At least there are things that you can write about or take action on. And seek with the help of Venus there. The other thing that can be quite surprising is that crises that really felt like things were coming apart with Venus in Pisces, it does put us in a more compromising mood. It does put us in a more compromising spirit. And one of the surprising things over the next 15 days might be that we are more willing to seek mutual support and agreement than we may have thought we would in March, particularly around March the 20th and around the 28th. So if by the time you left March the 28th, you left March and over this last week, but if by the time you left March you really thought things were at a breaking point and you were ready to throw in the towel, you might find that April brings with it the spirit of resolution. What this is going to mean for each person remains to be seen. How do you heal yourself? How do you heal others? Open questions at this point in time, but we'll get definition over the next 15 days, okay? That, I think, is really all I want to say about this new moon. There is still a very strong, there's a strong energy of things needing to be released still. There's a strong energy. Pluto and the South Node come together tomorrow, and Saturn is right there. If you feel that there are indications very strongly about something that need to be released that are related to the eclipses and the January 5th date and the March 5th date, then pay attention to that. If it really feels like there's something that needs to be let go of or released, really try and identify what that might be and see if something there can be facilitated, as challenging as it might be. It's done, it's over, it's in the past, it's no longer serving you. In fact, holding on to it may create more challenges and problems than not. And finally, what I will say is that January and February brought with it an acceleration of movement and motion. And Mercury went retrograde. Jupiter goes retrograde on August the 10th. After that, Pluto is going to go retrograde late April. Saturn is going to go retrograde after that. And so we finally are entering that spring-summer phase that we've had in the last few years, where the first 2 or 3 months first 2 months catapult us practically into a new reality. And then the rest of the year, we kind of have to go back and catch up to that catapulted reality. Now, does that mean that if you got a new job in January or February, that defines your future in such a way that you're going to be in this new job for the next 10 years? Not necessarily. The idea of getting a new job may be that it propelled you into a certain career. So the idea of things needed to go back and be adjusted and be worked on could mean that you end up in that job for another 10 years, or it could mean that other things need to be adjusted around it. The question is, something new, something was propelled in January and February. You came through some sort of a birth canal quickly after 2018 that was pretty static. And now the planets, Mercury direct, Jupiter, then Pluto, then Saturn, go retrograde for much of the summer to integrate and to build the foundations so that that acceleration and that accelerated reality can continue to that accelerated reality that we were shown, can be built on sturdier foundations. Less hasty flimsy foundations. Okay, I'm going to leave that as a concept here. We're going to develop it over the next few months as time goes on. And I would advise you to not be too literal about it. So, if, for example, you entered a relationship, again, it doesn't mean that because you entered a relationship in January and February, you're going to marry this person for the rest of your life. The question is not the job, the relationship, the move, the new house, the whatever. The question is more, what is it creating? What have you been propelled into from an overall perspective? And how can you go back and lay down some roots? Actually, frankly, this foundation metaphor is better. How can you go in and build a sturdy foundation so that whatever it is that you were pushed into in January and February can be built on sturdier and more stable and more sustainable ground? Retrograde planets do fulfill an important purpose. Okay, I will leave it at this. It's about 11 minutes. And happy new moon in Aries, but continue to do the work that you need to do related to issues in late 2015, 2016, mid-November 2018 to December 31st, 2018, and since February the 10th of this year, but especially with crises in March. Go forth and try to shake some hands and try and reach some sort of resolution or some sort of healing so that everyone can be clear about what it is that they want to give up and do no more and do no longer, and move forward in a lighter and more healed way. Okay. See you guys in a few days. Thanks.